Pete Hegseth's lawyer is now threatening the woman that he assaulted in 2017. This happened at a California Republican conference. This woman was a Republican, and now they are saying that she was trying to extort Hegseth, that Hegseth never did what she claimed he did, and that this is all her fault. And if he doesn't get the defense secretary position, well, she's going to have hell to pay in the courts.
It was settled in an agreement with this woman in 2017. Yesterday, when you were talking to Jake Tapper, you said that you believed it's extortion. But of course, as you know, extortion is also a crime. So if you felt that it was extortion, why not go to the police at the time?
Well, it was a decision that we made, and the email from the attorney. It was something that I don't know if it quite rises to the level of a criminal extortion that the police would take it on, but I think it certainly does meet the definition under the California law for civil extortion, and it was something that we were considering at the time. And quite frankly, with the violation of the agreement, if he is not confirmed as the Secretary of Defense, we may still bring a civil extortion claim against her.
So if he is not ultimately confirmed because of these allegations, you may take legal action against the person at the center of that agreement.
Absolutely. If the false claims of somebody that was part of an extortion that was then put out in violation of a settlement agreement ultimately causes him to lose his future employment opportunities, then yes, that is something that is worth bringing a lawsuit against her and her friend and potentially even the attorney for, yes.
We've heard some people say that she should be released from that non-disclosure agreement that was part of the settlement agreement. Is there any consideration between you and Mr. Hegseth of doing that?
Well, so first of all, it's not a non-disclosure agreement is something where one party agrees not to disclose. This is a confidential settlement agreement that had confidentiality on both sides. That agreement has since been breached by her. And so as a result, I sent notice to her attorney that agreement is no longer has any force and effect. That's one of the reasons why I can talk about it here, because prior to that, the agreement prevented Mr. Hegseth from talking about her conduct. So there is no NDA to release her from. And if she wants to go and talk about it, she can do it. I mean, certainly she would do it at her own peril of a further defamation lawsuit. But and additionally,
well, that's news.
NDAs,
we didn't. People have been calling for her to be able to speak, and you're saying, I mean, you're his attorney. You're saying that from the agreement which you negotiated, that she can come out and speak on CNN or wherever she chooses.
Of course. However, if she doesn't tell the truth, if she repeats these false statements, then she will be subject to a defamation lawsuit. But no, she's well aware of that. Her attorney was well aware that because of the breach of the agreement, that is no longer in any force and effect. She is free to speak if she wants. I've heard people saying, we should release her so that she can testify before the committee. There is no such thing as an NDA that prohibits somebody from complying with a subpoena.
Okay, so you're saying that she could be.
That's not us.
You're saying she could be released. In terms of settlement agreements, is that the only?
No, I'm saying she's already been released. She released herself.
Right. Caitlin Collins asking there, so if she was extorting you, why didn't you go to the police to prevent this? The obvious thing you should do. Of course, Pete Hegseth didn't do that because he kept this woman in his hotel room one drunken night, despite her telling him that she wanted to leave. And no, she doesn't want his sexual advances, because that's what happened. And so now Hegseth is playing the Trump kind of law warfare game where he threatens the accuser with legal action, tries to drown them in legal debt, and then also just totally denies the wrongdoing and blames the victim. This is the Trump strategy. So Trump clearly has Hegseth's back here still. And so far, it's looking like he's not going anywhere. Today, he vowed that he didn't, that he's staying in the race. He's sticking with the position, but he doesn't answer to anybody but, it was Donald Trump and God and his wife.
I'm proud of what I fought for. I'm not going to back down from them one bit. I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump, who received 76 million votes on behalf and a mandate for change. I answer to the 100 senators who are part of this process and those in the committee. And I answer to my Lord and Savior and my wife and my family. I'm proud to be here. And as long as Donald Trump wants me in this fight, I'm going to be standing right here in this fight, fighting to bring our Pentagon back to what it needs to be.
So you can only imagine being a woman in the military and watching this man who sexually assaulted a woman and is now blaming her and threatening her with legal action. And it wouldn't surprise me if Donald and these Republicans in some weird way are doing this to get women out of the military. I don't know. I don't know if there's some, bizarre, strange, machismo alpha kind of conspiracy theory going on here. But regardless, there will be less women in the military with Donald Trump leading them and Pete Hegseth as their defense secretary. Let me know what your thoughts are on Hegseth's lawyers' comments here. Share your reflections in the comments down below. And if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so that you get my future videos in your inbox. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Are you going to make enough money to live?
I'm not. Like, it's literally like between legal fees and not being able to work, especially because I wasn't working during, remember the trial got pushed.
Yeah.
So I had taken off a bunch of time before, and then it got extended. So there were several months where I didn't do anything. I just stopped doing my podcast because they were freaking out about everything I said. I didn't even get to tell the podcast company why I stopped talking to them, because I didn't want anything I used to be entered in, just create more work for the prosecution, basically. Or I didn't want to be taken off the witness list for all the reasons I told you earlier. Mm-hmm. There's so many things. People being just afraid to hire me. Luckily, I do have some really great people. I host the TV show on Out TV. And I'm starting to go back and do some stand-up comedy and things like that. But I've lost a lot more than I've made. Mostly my peace, mostly my daughter's privacy and time. Time I'll never get back with her.
Given that, are you worried about Trump potentially being elected to a second term?
Shouldn't we all be worried about that?
Are you worried about it particularly for you?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think that he will try to make even more of an example out of me. And also because his followers will probably be even more bold, thinking if they do something, he'll pardon them.